I just want us to fight for humanity rights, human rights, water, the right to education, the right to a job with a livable wage, the ability to walk down the street or to drive home and not get shot by a cop who's afraid. There's some human rights I want us to look at, along with the gun rights. I know that's ambitious, but I believe it's something that's well overdue. The right to be sick and not die because you don't have money. The right to live indoors because you are a citizen in the richest country that's ever existed. It's not a crazy thought. Also, access to education in the richest country that's ever existed. It's not crazy. It's not lazy. It's not a freebie. What good is living in the richest country in the world if you get nothing for it except shot? I'm trying to understand it. Speaking of getting shot, Killer Mike. Killer Mike. You know, I like Killer Mike. I like people who speak their mind, lay it all out. Okay? I love this guy. I'm a big fan. And you know me, I'm a hip-hop head too. I grew up off hip-hop. I think I'm going to love hip-hop until the day I leave. Well, right in line with the March for Our Lives and all the news coverage that was happening all across the world, frankly, were people, young people and old people, all people were gathering in cities, fighting for stricter gun laws and safer schools. Right at that same time where that's going on, they got a video of Killer Mike having a conversation with Colion. I think that's his name, Colion. Black guy from the NRATV. NRATV. And in it, Killer Mike makes some comments about guns and how he disagrees with banning guns or stricter gun laws, and he thinks more people should have guns, especially black people. And he believes that it was one part where he said he told his kids, if you walk out on school, you walk out of school, well, walk out of my house. It's like, wow. Jesus, man. That's tough. But hey, that's how he, just thought that was kind of tough out there. But that's how strongly he felt about, that we don't agree. He does not agree with any gun restrictions. So anyway, so Killer Mike, he got a lot of backlash from this because, well, people said, hey, we're protesting about guns because people are dying with guns or dying at the hands of guns. And Killer Mike, here you go, speaking against this, Killer Mike. We don't know what's wrong with you, Killer Mike. So they all piled on Killer Mike. And Killer Mike's a big guy, but all those people piling on him, it was just ridiculous. And frankly, guys, I think a lot of people who have been waiting to get at Killer Mike. They were pissed at Killer Mike ever since he endorsed Bernie Sanders. Come on, now. Oh, they've been just sitting back waiting. Oh, man, I'm going to get him one day. Up there with Bernie, giving Bernie life. Look at him not voting Hillary. Hell is wrong with this guy. They could not wait to get Killer Mike. I did not take a swing at him. I did not tweet a negative tweet towards him about this. Well, anyway, Killer Mike, he felt the pressure from people not named Tim Black, people such as Joy Reid. I'm sure there's many others, but I saw the Joy Reid. She went directly at him. I'm sure there were some other people who went at him. So anyway, Killer Mike, he put out a video and he tried to explain himself. First of all, he says that he didn't just have that interview. The interview had been over a week ago, well before the marches. He didn't know there was going to be a march, and it was not against the march. But the NRA used him very strategically to blunt the momentum of the march and say, hey, we got a black guy that you guys love, and he thinks you're wrong. And this is a tactic that was used by the NRA, but it gets used by everybody. People use your footage when it's, most convenient for them. And that's what they did with Killer Mike. They used his likeness when it was a good time to use it. Like, oh, this is good. This is what we need. We need a black guy to get out here and tell them they crazy. So anyway, Killer Mike apologizes for the interview with the NRA. He claims it was misused. As artists like Paul McCartney, Lin-Manuel Miranda, Demi Lovato, and Andre Day made appearances during March of Our Lives demonstrations for gun control this past Saturday, the rapper Killer Mike was on the internet explaining his support for the NRA with NRATV. Colion Noir is his name. So I'll just say this, man. I'll say this. And that's pretty much the story. Killer Mike, he didn't walk back. I don't think he walked back his comments. I think he tried to put them into context. He's a gun owner. I think Killer Mike grew up with guns in Georgia. Part of his life. I'm trying to tell people there are folks who grew up around guns their entire lives. They're not scared of guns, and they're used to them. It's part of who they are, okay? Once you get to know these people, or different people with different backgrounds or hobbies or what have you, you realize that it's more complicated than you think. But Killer Mike didn't walk back his comments. He just kind of put them in context that he still believes that black people particularly need to have gun rights. We do know that in this country, the whole reason we had gun reform to begin with is because black people were getting guns back in the 60s. Like, what are these black people doing getting these guns? We got to do some reforming. Can't have this Black Panther Party with guns. We got to stop this. No open carry. Got to get rid of this. But anyway, Killer Mike, he made a good point about the gun, about black people and guns. Not everybody's a teenager who doesn't have self-control. And that's sort of the lens that we look at people with guns sometimes, There's some grown people with families who live places where they might need a gun. And I know that's not popular, but that's okay, because that's their lives. But Killer Mike did try to explain how he supports the young people who were marching, that he is an ally. He wants to protect schools, and he supports their First Amendment rights to freedom of speech, and he agrees with them that some things could be changed. But he also believes that he should own a gun, and he ain't giving his gun up. So, hey, guys, hey. I just want to say it's not as cut and dry as people want it to be. I don't think we should demonize one another because we differ on how this issue needs to be addressed. And just because someone disagrees with you on this issue does not make them evil. And it doesn't mean they hate kids. Doesn't mean they want kids to be shot. That's a horrible thing to say. That's a horrible conclusion to draw. Yeah. Like I said earlier, man, if we could talk to each other, maybe we could get something done, but it's hard to talk. Can't talk about issues like this. We'll talk about stuff we don't care about. People had those conversations, but you start talking about stuff people care about, oh, man. That's when the knives come out. The Wolverine claws come out. So anyway, guys, shout out to Killer Mike. He got put on Front Street by NRATV to prove their point. And it's just what they do. Wow. Rough day at the office. When you get dragged by all of liberal media at one time. I wonder if him and Colion Noir are still friends. Come on my show, Mike. Come on my show, my brother. I won't use your footage out of context. All right.